You better cut that out.
You're gonna help me edit, so we can cut it out together.
Yeah. I'm just reading about...
Look, Dietrich, I'm literally all gray, bro.
I know. I saw. I noticed.
So dope. So dope.
Because if it ain't inappropriate, it's probably not funny.
So did you find anything else more about South Park?
No. I didn't give enough of a fuck about it. You know? I really did want to watch it, but then I was like, it's just another TV show I can waste my time on. Or I could literally just delete the app and act like I never had it. Which would probably be the smartest thing for me to do, because then it'd force me to do something else instead, like read or play the guitar. You think I should do that?
Yeah.
And just say goodbye to it?
Yes.
Because you know what it is?
What?
It's meaningless accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's accomplishment nonetheless. So when your brain senses that you've achieved something, it gives you a dopamine reward, which is exactly what these games are designed to do. But I've made so much progress. Yeah, no. It's all good. I can get my dopamine high from the gym and guitar and flirting with women.
Magic the Gathering.
No, flirting with women.
You're trash at flirting with women.
Oh, no, I'm not, sir. I could smell the wetness. Blooper reel.
Oh shit, I forgot it was going.
It's the best. 'Cause you're the best around. No one's ever gonna take you down. Taryn, are you getting it all smoky in here?
No. It's definitely not anything compared to when you're cooking.
Then why does the cooking never bother me?
Well, you've gotten better since I've been around.
I started cooking things on lower heat, but they are not turning out as good.
Oh, no, they are. Because you can enjoy them without smoke in your nostrils.
Well, it's only if you notice the smoke that it's a problem. Get better sleep.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been reading Magic the Gathering lore.
On your phone. I'm talking about, like, no screens. Like, it has to be paper.
It sounds like I'm going to have to visit my grandparents' bookshelves. Yeah, it's just... I like reading Magic.
Why don't you, like, get a printout or something?
I don't want to waste the paper.
It won't be a waste. You can just put it in your parents'... Use it to start, like, fires at your grandparents' house. Not... That sounded bad. In their fireplace. Alexa. Play Somebody to Love by Queen.
Somebody to Love. Remastered 2011 by Queen from Spotify.
They did.
This is B.
We're recording, by the way.
So oh, really?
So just sit right there.
Which beer is mine?
The one on there.
Oh. Okay. Sweet.
I just thought I'd start it, and then we could just hang out. Just bro out.
Yeah.
And then whatever comes up, and then this parts where we're quiet or whatever, I'll just cut it out.
Well, that's the thing with like Rogan podcasts is he always like he's already had a somewhat of a conversation with them, and then they move on into like kind of like some topics that Rogan kind of has on his mind, like I want to know this about you.
Yeah, he's sitting there genuinely curious.
Yes.
Like, and he's talking to pretty interesting people.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that
Elon Musk and
that's A minor, just top string, second fret.
The other thing I like about him is he gets people from all walks of life. You know, from tech to music. You know, he gets rappers, he gets
to fighters.
To fighters.
Fighters are my favorite because they have just like killers.
Do you have a favorite fighter?
Well, at one point it was Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Just because I mean
I like his energy.
He's a striker and he's confident, and he's actually a really good loser.
What I don't understand is, you know how like people say like, oh, like being like proud or like being cocky is like unattractive. But like I think Conor McGregor is so cool because of how cocky he is. Like he does not care what, like, if people think he's cocky or what they think.
I think he knows they're watching.
Yeah.
And he's like, being myself, like the fullest self that I can be is what's entertaining to people, because people can't do that for themselves. A lot of people are like, I can't be the full me for everyone to see. Like I can't be like, I'm gonna kick your ass, bro.
Yeah, he definitely has something like that draws you in a little bit, like a unique energy.
Yeah, he's a showman for sure.
Can you think of any other professional athletes that kind of have that? Like, does Tom Brady have any of that energy?
He's definitely got the confidence, but he doesn't have like the showmanship of it. Like he's very serious.
I feel like fighting is more of a showmanship sport.
Oh yeah. If you don't have your own flair, you're nothing, really. Because like if you're just like take Khabib.
Okay.
Do you know who Khabib is?
Is he the guy with the ears? He's got like
he's got
wrestler ears or whatever.
Yeah. And he beat Connor.
Yeah. I get him confused with Pryor.
Proyer.
Yeah.
What's his name? Something Proyer. Dustin Proyer?
Dustin.
So Dustin just kicked Connor's ass.
They're both American fighters, right?
No, Connor's
not Connor. Pryor and
Proyer.
Proyer and
Nurmagomedov?
No, the other
Khabib?
guy. Khabib.
Well, that's Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Oh, that's his name. Oh, okay.
So
he just goes by Khabib. See, I don't even know his full name.
He's Russian.
Yeah, we were gonna watch that fight with Connor.
So I'm pretty. Just put your pointer on the first fret, bottom string, first fret.
That's B.
Play that. So play C and then play that, and then play that, and then play F. I like that transition.
You like the 7 chords going. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, if you've got lyrics and I've got the voice, then I'll take it away.
I've got some lyrics.
You got some lyrics.
So they're not exactly.
Up in this.
I don't think they're PC. But they're still.
That's perfect then.
Yeah.
There's too much PC bullshit. You ever had a.
They're both seasonal. So you can only get the celebration this time of year.
And the Jubileo.
And the Jubileo this time of year.
Well, that makes sense because that's the celebration and the Jubilee and celebration, like that's kind of like. Those are almost interchangeable words.
Oh, okay.
It's a Jubilee, it's a celebration.
But they're from different brands.
But then again, like, I don't even know what the actual definition of a Jubilee. I like Bodhisattva.
Oh, the Bodhies are good.
Yeah, so my dad's friend Steve, he just drinks loads. Like every time he comes over, he brings over a 6-pack of Bodhies.
Nice. The No Lie is this brewery I'm into right now. Northern Lights out of Spokane.
NLI.
NOLI.
NOLI?
Yeah, NO-LI. No Lie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never had them yet. Yeah, I'm gonna have a couple beers tomorrow. At Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, and then smoke a cigar.
On crack, you would find me at the gym.
Dude, you'd probably get addicted to crack because you are addicted to caffeine.
Probably no, because one of my friends
energy.
One of my friends was like, you should never try crack. I've tried. He goes, I've tried crack. You should never try crack because that would be the drug for you. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, you just have like this crazy amount of energy. And like, you start doing, and like I like to work out. So I think that if I was on crack, I would literally just start working out as hard as I could.
Probably while doing carnivore. Or maybe because you were doing crack, you couldn't do carnivore.
I would probably be so focused.
Need so much food and so many calories.
Well, I'd be so focused that like I could achieve my goals. Although I think that's more of like a meth thing. It's like you have like this insane focus.
Wait, so are you gonna?
Are meth heads scatterbrained or super focused? Because I know that like people use what's that drug that like kids use and
ADHD for ADHD.
For ADHD,
like Ritalin or Adderall, I think.
Yeah, Ritalin or Adderall. Like I knew so many people in high school who had Ritalin or Adderall. I was like, what? Why? And they're like,
it's like, how else am I supposed to get through this hellhole?
Yeah. Well, like, and then they were like,
So that's an interesting thing. I always thought it was an unfair advantage
Yeah.
for like testing and stuff. Like they get to use a performance enhancing drug
Yeah, your brain gets
to
super
test
focused.
themselves into college or whatever.
Apparently,
So
you
there's
forget to eat.
there's definitely an unfairness. Like if you for sports and stuff, you can't use performance enhancing drugs to compete at the highest level. Well, when you're going to school, you're essentially competing at the highest level of education, and if you
Get to take Adderall, then that's not fair.
it's not fair, especially for like entrance exams and like, you know, scholarships and stuff, because you're competing against your peers, you're competing against other kids in the nation.
Unless,
and so if they have, which it could be argued that they have a disadvantage because they have ADHD or something or something.
So here's the thing with that. I think there's a bunch of these new
And this beer
diagnoses.
sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. I'm gonna finish it anyway.
I'm gonna finish it too.
Yeah,
and then I'm
wasting.
probably gonna not ever even look at this again. This is disgusting.
Yeah, it's not great. I told you it has kind of a bitter finish. So, but like with most things nowadays, doctors are trying to get out drugs that make them money, because believe it or not, Adderall probably makes them money. They're probably being paid to prescribe Adderall and diagnose someone with ADHD, which is like it's incentivized to get people drugs rather than to get them natural solutions to their problems.
Here's
Naturopathy.
like, this is paranoia, but my thought process was like after I got like my ultrasound and I got my blood work tested, I was like, what if they know something's wrong, but they're just gonna wait till it becomes worse so that they can cash out for more?
Yeah. No. I don't even. That's not even paranoia. That's like rationality. You're rationalizing the fact that our medical system is so screwed up that it's way more powerful for them to get you, like, let you become more sick first.
Yeah.
And then treat you for a much longer time because you did so much damage, you're never going back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have some chronic issue that is like, it's like it's like a business making a new product.
Yeah.
It's just just find another source of income.
Yeah, it pays more to make it's the same thing. And like people, like if we put this on YouTube, let's just
if we put this, we will definitely put this on YouTube.
Then I won't talk about certain.
Oh, you can talk about whatever you want.
Well, but here's the thing: you'll probably get censored if I talk about, you know, the fact that certain drugs that are coming out to treat COVID are actually.
We want to get censored.
Okay, yeah, then let's do this.
We want to make a video on
the
censorship.
new drugs that companies are making for COVID, to treat COVID, just like these new vaccines. The reason they're using something new is because it'll make them more money to use the new product, because more people will use the new product.
Updating your iPhone charger.
Exactly. Like giving you updates so that your phone goes bad. And then you have to buy a new phone, or you have to buy like some kind of technician. You have to pay some technician.
Here's another one that I get in my brain ski. Is I'm going to an auto shop, whatever, to get my brakes fixed.
And they find something else wrong?
No, they purposely install fuckery brake pads so that I have to go back into the shop 2 months from then. Or they purposely like
No, but that's the difference between
reputation.
Yeah, so they have a reputation to upkeep. If you write a Google review for them, it's different. Because their business
I don't write those.
Their business is actually like a capitalist-based business. They have to build a reputation and sell a product that is worth it. Otherwise, they will be put out of business by their competition. Whereas companies like hospitals don't have that same competition. They're controlled by the state. They're regulated by the state. And it's kind of like with schools. Do you ever see teachers like competing to keep their job? No. But do you see technicians on phones competing to keep their job? Yes. If you're a technician that can do 20 phones in a day, and there's this other technician who does 25 phones a day, well, you better step up your game.
Get the 25 person a day.
The doctor that sees this many patients in a day and solves more problems, well, guess what? He's not actually bringing in more he's not keeping that patient. A patient lost. A patient cured is a
patient lost.
Yeah, it's a patient lost. So our system, like if it were. Like, I mean, technically capitalism couldn't solve the medical system because technically, either way, the profit is number one, when really the service, like the quality of the service should always be number one.
Well, that's interesting, is I was talking to my grandma, and she was like, well, if everyone's getting sick from COVID and the flu, and there's not space in the hospital, how is that fair for you? And I was like, well, what will ultimately happen is people who have the money to pay for good doctors and to pay for the healthcare are going to get it, and the other people are going to be left out on the streets. She disagreed.
Well, so I don't know exactly where you're going with that.
I'm not going anywhere. The only place I'm going with that is that money talks, and like if you want to have like a personal doctor, like a doctor that comes to your house, that costs more money. If you want to go to a really nice hospital with really high tech machinery and stuff, because you got to get the best doctor for your open heart surgery, the people that pay top dollar get that person.
So, and then here's the problem with that. Guess what? That makes sense. There would be more doctors available total if the state didn't regulate it. If the state regulates it so strictly, they allow only a certain amount of people to get their doctorate degrees and then start practicing. The only certain amount of people get passed through the board.
That's pretty interesting, because there's definitely a shortage.
Well, there's a shortage. Like I can't speak,
especially
entirely,
in rural areas.
I can't speak entirely to the shortage of doctors, though I can speak to the shortage of nurses, because I've actually watched some stuff about the shortage of nurses, and a lot of it is the older nurses are getting kicked out because they see the lies and the perpetuations of the negative things that are going on in the medical community.
Okay.
So then these newer nurses are like, okay, I'm going to be paid a lot. Like I'm getting a $3,000, $5,000, $15,000 sign-on bonus to work for these companies. All I have to do is be vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And so the older nurses are like, the fact that this is being forced is not making any sense to us. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of actually seeing that the only sense that we're seeing is this isn't fair. Like this isn't right. This is breaching our freedom. And we've been practicing for a long time and we were heroes. And now that we won't take a vaccine, we're now zeros. We're not worth anything.
So if you don't get the vaccine, you still can go to the hospital.
They're trying to, so certain places, they're trying to say, if you're not vaccinated, you don't get treated just like this other person. Now, here's the thing.
Unrelated to being employed.
What do you mean?
Just as a patient. To even go in the hospital, get treated, you have to have vaccination. ?
Right. So, get this. The Hippocratic Oath is that, I think it's the first, do no harm.
Okay.
Very first, if you treat a patient, you can't go into that knowing that you'll do harm. So, the thing with vaccines is in my opinion, is there's so little actual long-term testing that when they take that oath and then they administer these vaccines and then they force people to take these vaccines to get treated for something else is entirely wrong, because they don't know if they're doing harm or not. So that totally violates their oath. They don't know if they're doing harm or not. So they're telling you...
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Right. If they're telling you, you need to be vaccinated, be treated for whatever else you have, because we don't want to get sick or whatever, which they've proven that, you getting vaccinated doesn't stop anyone else from getting sick. It's more of a therapeutic, so it prevents
you from going to the hospital.
Right, it'll prevent you from getting as sick. Now, I had COVID a few months ago, and
what was that like?
That was it was a trip, because
it was a trip.
The day before I got sick, I did a really heavy deadlift workout, and I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm way too sore, and I feel kind of sick. So I was exhausted, and I thought it was just. You thought it was just what? I thought it was just being tired from the workout, I worked out too hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually work out too hard. I worked out just fine, but my body wasn't able to handle the stress from the workout because it was actually fighting COVID. So
your immune system kind of got weakened by your massive workout.
yeah, to an extent. Not, I don't know how much it affects that, like how much working, but like exhausting your body's resources to work out instead of fight an illness that you don't even know you have, because our immune systems are crazy. Like our immune systems are so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I never got the COVID, and I lived with my mom, and she got it. She was one of the first people in Sandpoint.
Well, and you were working at Walmart with me.
I worked at Walmart with you. I lived with my dad, too, who
Nice.
had COVID. I didn't have COVID.
I'm
And
gonna finish this beer first.
I just have a natural immunity. A lot of people call BS, but anyways,
Well,
my grandpa said. He said,
if you got COVID and you didn't know it, that would be called being asymptomatic.
no, because I was testing because I was going to school.
Oh, and you tested positive?
No, I never tested positive. I was.
Oh, okay, so
the
you don't have any natural immunity. Natural immunity is if you develop the...
Okay, we're back on
It cut out at a really good point.
carnivore.
I mean, we could talk about carnivore, but like... okay, so yeah, let's start it off in relation to COVID. So a lot of people don't
Carnivore
have...
in relation to COVID.
Yeah, so let's say you've got a machine, or let's say a diesel, and it can run off...
Oh, you need a machine?
You can run off of biodiesel, or you can run off of like just...
Oh, you need some biodiesel?
Regular diesel. And then you've got... Let's say that your truck runs way better on biodiesel than regular diesel, and you're running on regular diesel. Well, when that truck breaks down, you're going to go, why did it break down? It's because you're running on diesel, not biodiesel. That's kind of like how our bodies are operating. We're running on fuel that we're really, I don't think, meant to consume. Specifically, heavily processed foods. I think, obviously, I make exceptions.
This is pretty good.
And I don't eat right all the time. But if I were going to eat right all the time, what I would be eating is meat and organs and fruit. And, some dairy products, because personally I can tolerate dairy. But, yeah, so when your system starts to malfunction and you start having problems, you're probably running on the wrong fuel, is my opinion. I don't think it's because you didn't work out, or it's because you didn't lead an active enough lifestyle, or that you didn't sleep enough. It was probably because of the food that you were eating. And it's not to say that the other things don't play a role, but I don't think they play as significant of a role in your health as food does. I think that the fuel that you run on is way more important.
Have you ever heard the term "you are what you eat"?
Of course. And think about it. So like if you're trying to build, let's go from a perspective of building muscle.
Okay.
When you're trying to build muscle,
Let's get a flex for the camera.
I mean, I'm not wearing like a muscle tee or anything.
Yeah, just get a little, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
it's carnivore.
It's carnivore. So anyway, if you're wanting to build muscle, what you're gonna do is obviously work out, but that's actually not the part that builds the muscle. That's what breaks down your muscle. When you repair the muscle, you want to rebuild it with the proper building blocks, and you can get the proper building blocks
from beautiful women.
Muscle tissue.
You eat her muscle tissue, and she will keep you strong and upright for years.
You'll be upright, that's for sure.
You'll definitely be upright.
Yeah. Oh, and so, I guess that could segue into another thing. A lot of men have problems with their fertility specifically, and it's actually a really common problem, and it's becoming more and more common. With that common problem of infertility and what do you call it? Impotism?
You're impotent.
So to be impotent.
Impotent.
you would think that there's got to be something wrong. Like for me, I've almost always found that the solution is not, like I said earlier, to get more sleep or to necessarily work out more.
Drink more beer.
Or drink more beer, but like to eat properly. If you're eating a consistent diet with what our species has evolved to eat over time, what makes us intelligent, what makes us, I guess you could say, the alpha species, is that we eat meat, and we eat it in quantities that can't be obtained by anything else, because guess what? Nothing else can farm. Like, you take a wolf, or wolves, they can't farm. They can't, like, raise cattle. The cattle know that they're predators. I'm pretty sure cattle probably know that we're predators, but the thing is, like, we develop really late.
Have you ever, like, started going to the bathroom?
And you have to pinch it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst feelings.
It's not fun. It's worse when you pinch it off when you're peeing than when you're crapping.
Oh, like, so you don't pee while you crap?
No, like if you're in the middle of a pee and you have to cut off a piss, it's gonna be a lot harder to do that than it is gonna be to cut off a shit.
Oh yeah.
At least in my opinion.
No, absolutely.
Unless you're having like diarrhea.
Yeah, because anything coming out of your wiener, like
that's hard to stop.
Yeah, like biologically, they really want it to come out. That's how you get them pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not pissing.
Yeah. Guys have like 3 stages of sperm. They have like a first, like you jizz in like 3 bursts.
Okay.
The first burst is like these army sperm who don't actually swim to the egg. They kill other people's sperm.
Okay.
And then next...
So that means like when you first pull out,
no,
if you accidentally got them, you just injected the army sperm, not the impregnated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so you're okay.
Like, there's a little leeway.
There's a little leeway. You've got like 1 pump of like jizz before you need to get out.
You just pull out.
Because the second pump is a different kind of sperm.
Okay, then what's the third? Like what? Okay, second and third. Walk me through.
Okay, second. The way I understand it is the second wave of sperm is kind of like the jetpack on a rocket ship. Or like
so it's clearing the way.
Exactly, it's like an aerodynamic car or like a plow. Yeah, it's clearing the way. So the sperms go kill the stuff and then die.
It's lube.
They just kill all the other sperms and then die.
Okay.
Then those guys pave a way, boom, for the sperm who penetrate the egg.
So the second pump is the lube, and then you're impregnated.
Your third pump is
you better be pulled out.
So kind of like have you ever watched like a cheetah mate?
No.
The girl basically like annoys the guy, then like runs away from him, and then the guy's just irritated with her, so he jumps on, and it's like a 30 pumps in 2 seconds. It's like
and then he gets her done.
Yeah, and then they just walk away and probably never see each other again. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm hungry."
That's definitely not how I want my relationship to be. No, I like food. I'm gonna grab my beer from the freezer.
Okay. I will be right here.
So,
have you ever watched Nelk Boys? Ever watched Nelk?
Nelk?
Yeah, the Nelk Boys. I'm so glad that's on video. I'm going to put that in slow motion. And then maybe I'll edit in like an explosion.
What do you think of this one?
I like it. Definitely more than that other one.
Yeah, it's milder.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more mild.
Definitely less hoppy.
Oh yeah, it's a stout.
So no hops. Well, for a guy who enjoys beer, I really don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anything about it. I enjoy it for what it is.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like when I get into something, I really want to learn like the most I can about it. So like obviously with the carnivore, like I learned how to explain things to people in a way that made sense to them because I know what made sense to me.
And how to scare all the girls away.
Am I scaring the girls away with my carnivore facts or what?
No, I'm just teasing.
Okay.
Jade wants to eat your dick.
No, you're gonna cut that out.
Yes, of course. If I'm saying talking about fucking pussy, I'm cutting that out.
Okay.
I just have to keep that sort of stuff in because it's more natural for me, and then it's less of like a.
Oh, so you feel okay? So you're the way you guide or not guide the conversation, but like the way you conduct yourself is more fluent when you get to conduct yourself how you normally would, and then you just cut out the parts that are less acceptable.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Rogan is uncut.
I mean, if I build a reputation for myself, I'll go uncut. But if I'm still planning on going
He started uncut, bro.
There's no such thing as PC on this. Driving stoned?
I definitely don't want to find out what it's like driving stoned because I don't like getting stoned.
But I don't think people should drive stoned. Or drunk. Or
tired. There's more accidents that happen with tired people.
Yeah, but also more people drive tired than drive drunk because it's less scrutinized.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's probably no way to get a statistic on that because you don't know how many people are driving drunk and you don't know how many people are driving tired.
Yeah, I mean, it's just averages.
More people drive tired, but then again...
You're also less likely to get in trouble for driving tired.
You're not even going to get in trouble for driving tired unless you cause an accident and then you get in trouble for being negligent.
Inattentive driving. I have inattentive driving.
It's inattentive driving, not drunk driving. It's not tired driving. It's just inattentive driving. It's just like if you were to hop a curb or something like that. And
jaywalk.
That's not driving.
It's a misdemeanor, I guess.
Okay.
Inattentive driving.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. It's kind of like, how much do guitars normally cost? Because I thought those guitars seemed cheap.
Depends on the guitar and if it's handmade.
Those were all handmade at Fiddler's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. What I think, if I was you and I wanted to... First of all, I would just take one of our guitars if you want a guitar just to like learn guitar. But if you wanted to like get a guitar, like get a nice guitar, getting one that you could build might be pretty fun. Like my dad used to get fly rods that he could build. Like it's like a kit, you know?
Okay. You mean like, how would you build a guitar?
Like, did you see at his shop where he had like pick guards and he had like those necks? Remember the neck?
Oh yeah, and he was building a violin or a fiddle or something when we were.
Oh, I was talking about the other guy, but yeah, Fiddle and Red was doing work on fixing the violin for that woman.
Oh, he was fixing a violin?
Yeah.
Okay.
But people will buy like violin kits and make them. It's pretty hard to do the wood yourself unless you have the tools and you have a lot of experience doing it. But like getting a kit, I think it's usually like just some glue and stuff. Like there's definitely being able to do a good job and a bad job.
Yeah, I think that's something I would prefer. Like I can appreciate people who do things like that. Sometimes there are some things that I'm like, I'd rather not screw it up. I'd rather just like,
yeah.
I'd rather just pay someone. It's like, so I just installed my own wood stove in my cabin.
Oh, you got that working? Well,
and I started getting smoked out. So I'm going to save up some money and pay someone to do it right.
Maybe I should come look at it.
Well, you can look at it if you want, but I think I've got the improper wood stove. Yeah, it's not an interior wood stove. It's actually a wall temp wood stove, and it's stupid that I even tried to use it for that.
It's not.
Well, I figured, your intake comes from a place that's warm, and then air flows to where it's cold. And so, thing is, there is enough draw.
It's getting stuck in the walls. There.
I don't think it's getting stuck in the walls. The thing is, I think that so it was, the first day I ran it, it was pulling the smoke out. But then, when it got low in heat, smoke started coming back in. So the problem with that is we need to shut the flue, or not the flue, shut the intake. And then when it starts to when we like are done putting wood in, shut the intake, and then
So
everything has to go out one way.
It's mostly okay. So when you lock it up for the night.
Right. And that's why
So when the wood's burning slow and there's only one way for the air to go, so it maintains that draft.
Yep. Exactly.
And
then
you've
nothing
tried
comes
that and
back
it's
in.
worked?
No,
Or
I haven't
this is
tried that.
just-
That's
okay.
my theory, and I haven't tried it yet, but I haven't had time to try it.
Well, that's a good theory. Because you got to test out your theory.
Yep. We'll have to.
And then you can go from there.
Yeah.
Just have Ray do it. It's not that hard to start a fire. It's not.
Well, I know, but if you met my sister, she could start the fire, but she might catch the whole place
The whole
on fire.
thing might burn.
Yeah, you say goodbye to $4,000, you know.
Peace. Later.
Not to mention the scorched spot that would be left there.
With like nails and screws.
Yep, nails and screws.
Half burnt boards that are pressure treated or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a few pressure.
Some cement bricks that are cracked and broken because of the heat.
Yeah, all of the base is bricks, cement, you know, pier blocks, and then
dude, we should
pressure treated wood.
call my cousin and talk to him because he's super into not monoculture. What's that kind of farming?
Homesteading, permaculture.
Permaculture, and he's trying to. He's got a girlfriend, and they're trying to go to New Mexico to live in, like, build a tire house.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
called an earth ship.
Or an earth ship, or
Yeah.
like do that kind of like build that kind of house or
And
something.
it gets heated by like solar heat. What you do is you face the windows towards the.
I'm gonna
it's the
just
north.
call him. It's worth a call. He's right at the dinner table.
Well, so you're a little bit less of an individual and more of a representation of those who have raised you when you're a kid. So, as a kid, you represent your parents somewhat, and when you show that you have no respect for the rules and the customs, then your parents are somewhat to blame. I understand there's rowdy kids, but kind of like my brother. But as you grow older, you're more of a representation of yourself. So if you decide to do what is wrong or what is uncomfortable, that's because you chose to do it, not that you were taught to do it. You've become your own person at that point, and you are now responsible for that behavior, not your parents.
So it's just with like.
Well, yeah, maybe they're more relaxed, but they're also more accepting of the fact that you're going to be your own person. It's not necessarily right or necessarily wrong. It's just more effective or ineffective. And for different kids, you need a different level of softness or strictness, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so with me as a kid, I didn't need that much strictness because I became very considerate, extremely considerate of how other people felt and how they perceived my actions and how what I did reflected on those who raised me. And so with many people, many kids, they just don't develop that. Many adults don't develop that nowadays until they develop any kind of understanding for the fact that their actions have consequences and they also reflect on their character and partially the character of those who associate with them or are their friends or their family. So when you've got a bad egg, obviously most of the time, most family members continue to love their family. In more strict families and cultures like Japanese, possibly
India.
Indian culture. A lot of times you have these families that kick out the bad egg and they say, we don't associate with you because you do not adhere to the strict policy of tradition and...
Like if you're Muslim.
Yeah, a lot of Muslims are like that. And so a lot of people call a Muslim culture primitive. I think that there are some really good values that I agree with that come from quote-unquote Muslim culture, but I also think that they're very prevalent in Christian culture, which is, why I'm a Christian. Part of why I'm a Christian is because I think that as far as morality goes, no one has it more right than the Christian culture. So what do you like better? Like IPAs or stouts?
Honestly, it all kind of tastes pretty similar.
Not to me, man. Those IPAs are way more powerful than a stout. Like
Bitter.
A stout just tastes like, oh man, I'm getting notes of chocolate and coffee, like in this Guinness. When I'm tasting,
Yeah, but
I'm tasting hops when I taste an IPA.
I'm getting notes of 6.8% ABV when I'm.
Well, this may only be a 5.2 or a 4.
This was made in Bend, Oregon.
Cool.
Have you heard of?
I've been to Bend, Oregon. Bent him over. Showed them my organ. My sex organ.
There's. No, I'm trying to think of this.
I'm disturbing your train of thought.
Of the name.
I've stopped the train of thought.
Of this YouTube channel. I think it's called Wet Ones. Or something. I'm not sure, but
Wet Ones.
They basically just like try different kinds of alcohol.
Oh, my dad watches a channel where they try different types of alcohol.
Are they Australian?
Yeah, there's a lot of Australians on there. I think you and my dad have a lot of similar taste in things. It's really weird.
Well, they probably just get like hella free drinks. They're like, yeah, just talk about us on your YouTube channel. So when my YouTube channel blows up.
You're going to talk about beer? Dude, people, there's so many opinions about beer out there, though. Like, you and me have way different opinions about beer. Because clearly you think that most beer tastes the same and that it's the alcohol content is pretty much one of the most important parts.
No, well, here's the thing, is I just have a bad sense of taste. Like, my whole mindset is like, food is food. Like, your mom was like, oh, is the steak good? Well, Shannon, food is, can you not fuck with that? It moves that.
I know.
Food is...
I was trying to move it backwards because I feel like this thing probably isn't capturing everything.
Oh, it is.
You sure?
The camera, the wide angles on these things, incredible.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Isn't that sick?
It is.
It's incredible. So much of wide angle, bro.
That's why it's good for like snowboarding and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Full mountain view.
So food is food.
So beer is beer. And weed is weed.
I disagree.
Okay.
Well, like, obviously weed isn't just weed. Do you know why?
Because I can open a bottle of beer with anything.
Except your phone case, because you literally just...
It looks like I did that. You hand me my scissors. So let's talk about band names, like theoretical band names.
Extra stout. I'm extra stout, dude.
My dad told me that when he was going to school, him and his friends came up with, they were going to be called, if they had a band, Society's Crucifixion.
Okay.
But I don't know what crucifixion means.
I'll repeat the song.
Somebody to love. Sleep is the most important aspect of recovery. With a close second, I think sleeping well, helps you eat well because when you're well slept, your impulse control is much stronger. Your impulse control is so much lower when you don't get enough sleep. And that's part of the reason why people overeat so much. It's not obviously not the only reason, but I think when you sleep enough, your impulse control is there to a greater extent. Your hormones aren't as off because your body's like well rested. Nice. I had to compliment myself. Are you gonna get some CBD in? You're
It's
not.
best to have all parts of the plant.
Are you keeping it in the fridge?
Yeah, very special. I treat this, I treat this plant like an animal.
Eat
You
the
kinda
whole
have
thing.
to
Well,
admit-
it's the truth for plants typically as well. Like if you're gonna eat, like don't eat refined sugars. Like if you're gonna eat something with sugar in it, eat the whole thing. And like I would typically say that fruit is the best form of sugar. If you're gonna have sugar.
This isn't sugar.
No, I know it isn't. But it isn't oil, and most oils go rancid before you consume them when they're purified. Because they're not in the food matrix.
So
I don't know if that's the case with that one, but I just typically don't trust highly processed oils.
I trust that one.
I have no reason to or not to, so. Other than the fact that I know that most oils go bad before you consume them.
Because I left it out of the fridge.
That could also be a factor.
Okay, I do have a gut of steel.
But
It's just my
no,
thing.
like rancid doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna get sick. It just means that it's not gonna. This I'm trying to remember exactly what, like, rancid versus regular oils do.
So I was talking to Greg.
Yeah.
He was like, I think sin is the best thing ever. Why? Why would he say that?
What did he say?
That sin is the best thing ever.
He probably knew I was listening and likes to fuck with me.
Okay, I guess I do have to give you a little more backstory.
Is he a former Christian?
Greg?
Yeah.
No. He's Greg.
So pub beer is rated 79 out of 100 on Beer Advocate. Holy shit, you can read every review. And there's like 39 reviews and 119 ratings on pub beer. What was that other one I drank? The pint. Is that a pint? Oh! Foster's.
Crossing.
Foster's. Just Foster's. This is our other guest, Mr. Foster's. Let me look up Foster's. Lager. Is it just Foster's Lager?
Lager.
Lager.
Oh, God. Well, that's boring. What'd you find out?
I'm trying to find Foster's Lager. I can't tell if this one.
It says it's brewed in the USA.
It's got a pour rating.
It's founded in Australia. And you have
Yeah.
to use the same website that did the review on that.
Yeah, it's the same website.
Okay.
So this one's given a 61. The other one, this one's given a 79. So apparently this is not a great beer.
I know how to pick them, don't I? I did good.
61 to 79.
Yeah.
79's good. 61's not. 61's a pour
Yeah, I
rating.
picked 79.
You picked pub beer well.
Yeah, I'm awesome.
However, apparently this wasn't a good choice. I can't even tell the difference.
That was a good choice.
I didn't think it was a bad choice.
I always pick them good.
You sure picked
Put
it.
it up top. With your other hand.
That's my other hand. I'm just kidding.
That's fine, I don't care.
They're like, quick, cancel him. He's seeking Heil.
Okay, how about we talk about...
Beer? No.
That's what I want to talk about.
Oh, that's what you want to talk about?
No, I want to talk about that show.
Which show? Suits?
No.
The one we just watched, the movie?
No.
Into the Unknown? Or Over the Garden Wall?
Over the Garden Wall.
Okay. So, I mean, what about it?
You have to talk about how
What I think about
each character, which character is which family member and why. And then I'll listen.
it? Well, it's kind of ridiculous to try and pinpoint like which characters represent which family members, because some the characters represent aspects that are reflected in some of my family members, and sometimes like more than one, and sometimes not at all. So when it comes to that TV show, I was saying something along the lines of Wirt is concerned with what people think about him, and he lets that control how he makes decisions, and it constantly blames other people for what's going wrong, specifically his little brother, Greg. Or Gregory, whatever you prefer. But then Gregory is almost pretty much the opposite. He's a child, and he doesn't necessarily have critical thought, but the fact that he doesn't have so much critical thought makes it so that it makes him a lot like Jesse, where he just does. So it's like, oh, why'd you use that knife to start cutting on that log? Well, it was fun.
I think we should get a thing to start marking his height at different months.
Oh, he's already got that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh yeah, it's it was the trim.
in the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know he's going to be tall, so
How?
he eats good and he's growing way quicker than any sibling ever has. So we're expecting him to be a tall one.
But you don't know.
No one knows.
What's the order? Are your brothers taller than your dad?
Nope. My dad's the tallest. My two older brothers are around the same height, though I think that Tony might be slightly taller.
And he's the first. Sorry.
Tony? No, he's the second brother.
Second brother. So your older brother.
My older brother.
And in your case, you're talking about your middle, not your oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tony, I call Tony my older brother and Jimmy my oldest brother.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about both of them, is that we call them by names that aren't their actual, like, legal name. Jimmy is actually James and Tony's actually Anthony.
Did you guys have similar childhoods?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, yes and no. The fact is, we were all... So, Jimmy, me, and Tony all had the chance to go to public school before being homeschooled. So, Jimmy went all the way through, I think, middle school. And Tony... Or Jimmy might have only gotten to, like, 6th or 7th grade. Tony got to 5th grade. Yeah, so that means Jimmy got through middle school. Okay, so Jimmy got through middle school, doing public school. Tony got through 3rd grade, or 5th grade, and I got through 3rd grade. Or, sorry, 2nd grade. So, actually, back that up. Tony got through 4th grade, I got through 2nd grade.
And you're the smartest.
The smart is as smart does. So, I don't know what
So
that
drink
means to
10
you.
barrel brewery beer.
No. But I'd say we all have our gifts.
Your glass. Wait. I think your glasses need like a little shine.
Yeah, they definitely do. I accidentally touch them all the time. And I
Why?
get that like, I don't know, just I do it.
Well, don't.
It's not intentional.
We'll make it intentional to not do it.
So anyway, Tony exited in 4th grade, and I was pulled out in 2nd grade. And my sister never started public school.
And you're the tallest.
No.
Oh.
I'm the shortest brother.
Oh, you are? It's okay.
Don't touch. Turn. I'm slapping. That usually receives a hit. Like if you were my dad, I'd just like punch you straight in the arm, literally. And he just takes it.
Well, I was just saying nice work on the deer. Sheesh.
Oh, thank you.
They're cranky.
No. And then my sister she started schooling with homeschool.
The only boy.
She's very boyish. But